When the F-22 Raptor entered service in 2005, it was so technologically superior that Congress banned its export to any foreign nation, determined to protect America's edge in the skies. Nearly 2 decades later, the global threat landscape has shifted dramatically, and the Air Force is responding with one of the most ambitious fighter jet modernization programs in recent history. China's J-20 Mighty Dragon stealth fighter has been produced at scale, with over 100 reportedly operational and more rolling off production lines monthly. Russia, despite broader military setbacks, continues upgrading its Su-57 Felon with improved sensors and extended-range missile systems. These are not peripheral threats, they are deliberate, systematic efforts to erode the advantages the Raptor has held since its debut. Against this backdrop, the United States holds exactly 185 F-22s. The production line shut down in 2012, making each aircraft irreplaceable. The intended successor, the F-47, developed under the Next Generation Air Dominance (NGAD) program and awarded to Boeing in March 2025, promises transformational capability, combat radii exceeding 1,000 nautical miles, autonomous loyal wingmen, and stealth technology that renders the Raptor's original design dated by comparison. However, its first flight is not expected until 2028, with meaningful operational deployment stretching into the 2030s. That gap, if left unaddressed, could invite miscalculation by adversaries. The Air Force's answer is the F-22 Super, a comprehensive modernization that takes the existing fleet and elevates it to a near 6th-generation standard. The infrared revolution. The centerpiece of the F-22 Super upgrade is the Infrared Defensive System, known as IRDS. In January 2025, Lockheed Martin received a $270 million contract to integrate this technology across the Raptor fleet, marking a fundamental shift in how the aircraft detects and engages threats. Traditional air combat has long depended on radar actively scanning the sky, painting targets with energy, and tracking them to a firing solution. The problem is that active radar broadcasts a fighter's position just as clearly as it illuminates the enemy. Modern stealth aircraft like the J-20 are specifically engineered to minimize radar cross-sections, making this dynamic increasingly unfavorable for radar-dependent platforms. IRDS addresses this by providing 360-degree passive infrared threat detection. The system consists of a distributed network of infrared sensors embedded around the F-22's airframe, allowing pilots to detect both air-to-air and surface-to-air missile launches at extended ranges without emitting a single detectable signal. The technology employed is Lockheed Martin's Gen 3 TAC-1 RST system, originally developed for next-generation platforms and now being backported to the Raptor, a rare instance of 6th-generation innovation flowing directly into a 5th-generation aircraft. In practical combat terms, consider a scenario where a Chinese J-20 launches a PL-15 missile from approximately 200 kilometers away. With legacy systems, the F-22's radar warning receiver may only detect the incoming missile seeker going active at a relatively late stage, severely constraining evasion options. With IRDS, the infrared signature of the missile launch is detected instantly, giving the pilot time to maneuver, deploy countermeasures, and potentially target the launching aircraft before the missile closes the distance. Complementing IRDS, the Air Force is also adding POGT infrared search and track (IRST) sensors under the Raptor's wings. These provide long-range search and track capabilities, creating a sensor fusion environment where the F-22 can detect, track, and target enemy aircraft without ever activating its own radar, achieving complete situational awareness while remaining electromagnetically silent. Customer evaluation of these systems is scheduled for 2026, with a low-rate production decision expected by the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2026. Stealth evolution. The F-22 Super is not only gaining better eyes, it is becoming significantly harder to see. Aviation observers near Edwards Air Force Base have photographed test aircraft fitted with mirror-like surface coatings markedly different from the standard matte gray finish. This is not a cosmetic change. It represents a new generation of multispectral stealth technology designed to reduce the Raptor's signature across radar, infrared, and optical spectrums simultaneously. The original F-22's radar-absorbent coatings were highly effective but notoriously maintenance-intensive. The material would crack, peel, and degrade with operational use, demanding extensive downtime in climate-controlled facilities to restore its low observable profile. The new coatings draw on lessons from the F-35 program. They are more durable, require less maintenance, and deliver consistent performance across a wider range of operating conditions. Critically, the new materials also manage the aircraft's infrared signature, reducing the heat bloom that adversarial IRST systems seek to exploit. China and Russia have invested heavily in passive infrared detection precisely because radar-based tracking of American stealth platforms has proven unreliable. By addressing the infrared spectrum, the F-22 Super remains hidden even as adversaries deploy their most sophisticated passive sensors. The upgrade package also includes enhancements to the Raptor's APG-77 active electronically scanned array radar, improving resolution and expanding ground mapping capability for strike missions. The ALR-94 electronic warfare system receives new software and hardware that enhance threat geolocation and jamming effectiveness, allowing pilots to detect enemy radar systems at ranges well beyond those at which the F-22 itself can be detected. Taken together, improved stealth, superior sensors, and enhanced electronic warfare, the F-22 Super presents an extraordinarily layered survivability profile. Next generation armament. Enhanced sensors and survivability mean little without the weapons to exploit them. The F-22 Super will carry an arsenal representing a significant leap forward in lethal capability, centered on the AIM-260 Joint Advanced Tactical Missile, JATM. The AIM-260 is America's direct answer to China's PL-15 and is designed to outrange any air-to-air missile currently fielded by potential adversaries. While its precise specifications remain classified, it is engineered to defeat modern countermeasures, engage targets at extreme distances, and be carried entirely within the F-22's internal weapons base, preserving the stealth profile that makes the Raptor so difficult to counter. This matters enormously. Late 2024 saw an F-22 achieve the longest recorded AIM-120 AMRAAM kill in history, and the AIM-260 will push those engagement envelopes considerably further. The upgrade also integrates advanced AIM-9X variants for within visual range combat and continues improvements to AIM-120D compatibility. Perhaps most strategically significant, however, are the low-drag, stealthy external fuel tanks currently in development. Pacific contingency scenarios, particularly around Taiwan or the South China Sea, involve vast distances that can strain the F-22's combat radius. Conventional external tanks resolve the range problem but dramatically increase radar cross-section. The new stealthy tanks, tested since 2023, are specifically designed to carry the additional fuel needed for extended missions while minimizing radar returns, allowing the aircraft to supercruise, sustaining supersonic speed without afterburners across long distances, and arrive on station with full combat capability intact. The broader strategic picture. The F-22 Super does not exist in isolation. It is the second layer of a deliberate three-tier air power strategy the Air Force is building for the next 2 decades. The F-35 Lightning II serves as the versatile workhorse, a multi-role platform being produced in large numbers for the United States and Allied air forces, functioning as a network quarterback that coordinates strikes and distributes sensor information across the joint force. The F-22 Super occupies the elite tip of the spear, focused exclusively on air superiority and high-end penetration missions into the most heavily defended airspace. The F-47, arriving in the 2030s with its loyal wingman drones, will represent the ultimate expression of 6th-generation air dominance, with unmanned collaborative combat aircraft extending sensor ranges and providing magazine depth beyond what any single crewed platform could carry. Importantly, fiscal year 2026 budget documents indicate that F-22s are being modified to serve as airborne controllers for collaborative combat aircraft, CCA. An upgraded Raptor commanding 2 or 3 unmanned drones each carrying additional sensors and weapons transforms a single pilot into the commander of a multi-axis attack formation capable of saturating enemy defenses and presenting targeting dilemmas that are nearly impossible to resolve. The upgrade program also extends to the oldest Block 20 aircraft, previously limited to training duties. Bringing these airframes up to combat standards effectively adds approximately 30 aircraft to the combat-coded fleet, increasing it from 143 to potentially 178 fully capable air superiority fighters. Timeline and investment. The financial commitment behind the F-22 Super is substantial and accelerating. The $90.34 million allocated in the fiscal year 2026 budget is the initial tranche of a much larger investment. Total F-22 modernization spending is projected to exceed $7.8 billion before 2030, comprising $3.1 billion in research and development and $4.7 billion in procurement. By the late 2020s, upgraded Raptors will be operational across multiple wings, including Joint Base Langley Eustis, Elmendorf-Richardson, and Nellis Air Force Base. The Air Force intends to keep these aircraft flying well into the 2040s and potentially beyond, an extraordinary testament to the fundamental soundness of the original airframe design and a demonstration that with the right investment, a platform engineered in the 1990s can remain competitive against threats that will define the 2030s and beyond.